everybody, it's me again. Had some errands to run today, and I stopped at the Little Free Library in Syracuse, Ohio, and picked up a couple books. There's actually something there today. Some days there's not much, and other days it's like jam-packed with stuff. And today it was full, and I picked out a couple books that sounded pretty good to me, and a couple that I think my niece will like, and I thought I would share them with you. So we'll start with For One More Day by Mitch Albom. He's the author of Tuesdays with Morrie, which was fantastic. If you get a chance to read it, I highly suggest that you do. I'm not entirely sure what this one is about. Every Family is a Ghost Story. Ooh, I'm intrigued already. Mitch Albom mesmerized readers around the world with his #1 New York Times bestsellers, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which was pretty good. Not as good as Tuesdays with Morrie and Tuesdays with Morrie. Now he returns with a beautiful, haunting novel about the family we love and the chances we miss. For One More Day is the story of a mother and a son and a relationship that lasts a lifetime and beyond. It explores the question, what would you do if you could spend one more day with a lost loved one? As a child, Charlie Benetto is told by his father, you can be a mama's boy or you can be a daddy's boy, but you can't be both. So he chooses his father and he worships him, right up to the day the man disappears. An 11-year-old Charlie must then turn to his mother, who bravely raises him on her own, despite Charlie's embarrassment and yearnings for a complete family. Decades later, Charlie is a broken man. His life has been crumbled by alcohol and regret. He loses his job. He leaves his family. He hits bottom after discovering his only daughter has shut him out of her wedding. And he decides to take his own life. Oh, wow, that took a turn. He makes a midnight ride to his small hometown with plans to do himself in. But upon failing to even do that, he staggers back to his old house, only to make an astonishing discovery. His mother, who died 8 years earlier, is still living there and welcomes him home as if nothing had ever happened. Ooh. What follows is one ordinary day so many of us yearn for, a chance to make good with a lost parent, to explain family secrets, and to seek forgiveness. Somewhere between this life and the next, Charlie learns the things he never knew about his mother and her sacrifices. And he tries, with her tender guidance, to put the crumbled pieces of his life back together. Through Albom's inspiring characters and masterful storytelling, readers will newly appreciate those whom they love and may have thought they'd lost in their own lives. For One More Day is a book for anyone within a family and will be cherished by Albom's millions of fans worldwide. Ooh, this sounds interesting. Especially since I lost my dad a month ago. Well, a month ago tomorrow. Today's the 15th. He died on May 16th. So, yeah. This one might have to wait a little bit. I'm not entirely sure I'm ready for a book quite like this. Because I'm still dealing with all this stuff with my dad. Yeah. And then I picked up Yaya's in Bloom by Rebecca Wells. I recently listened to The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. And I know this is a sequel, but I don't know if it's the second in the series. It'd be too easy for it to just, put. Yeah, also by Rebecca Wells, Little Altars Everywhere and Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. So I'm guessing this is book 2 then. I know there was a movie made of it, and I watched the movie years ago when it was fairly recent. An emotionally charged addition to Rebecca Wells' award-winning bestseller Little Altars Everywhere, and #1 New York Times bestseller Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. Yaya's in Bloom reveals the roots of the Yaya's friendship in the 1930s and roars with all the raw power of Vivi Abbott Walker's 1962 T-Bird through 60 years of marriage, children, and hair-raising family secrets. I don't know how much farther to read since this is a sequel. I think that's probably enough. After 2 bestsellers and a blockbuster movie, like the Yayas have become part of American culture, icons for the power of women's friendship. Yaya's in Bloom continues the saga, giving us more Yaya lore spun out in the rich patois of the Louisiana Bayou country and brimful of the Yaya message to embrace life and one another with joy. I see the phrase heartbreaking crime, so I'm definitely not reading any more of the description because it is a sequel. Hopefully I can find it as an audiobook and I can read along with it. I have something funny about audiobooks here in just a moment, or at least I think it's funny. Funny odd, not funny haha necessarily. Then I found this cute little book called Pumpkin Town. I sat here and read it. It's a short little book. Cute picture book. I like the art style. That's probably not the best one to show because it's so dark. Let me find one that's a little lighter. Here, the pumpkin seeds raining down on the town. But I do enjoy this art style. I think it's really cute. It's kind of like cutouts. So Pumpkin Town, or Nothing is Better and Worse Than Pumpkins. Written by Kirsty McKay, M-C-K-Y. Illustrated by Pablo Bernasconi. I hope I didn't kill their names too bad. The artwork kind of reminds me a little bit of Eric Carle. You know, the guy that did Hungry Caterpillar? With it being like the cutouts and things. But yeah, it's a cute little story about a family that grows pumpkins and takes them into town. And they save the best seeds. And when they discard the seeds they don't want to keep, they get carried off in the wind. And the trouble that comes from that. So yeah, it was cute. It was very cute. Now I don't know which of these comes first. Okay, well, apparently it's I and J. So, Caravans. This is an elementary reading book. If you ever remember a reading class in school. So it's got like the stories. Ooh, Dragon Stew. Written by Tom McGowan, illustrated by Nick Harris. That looks like it might be a cute one. But it's got like the sections with the contents for the section. Caravans, Magazine 3. So they're treating it like magazines, I guess. So then you've got your stories, you've got poems, you've got skills, categorizing, facts and opinions, vocabulary, all kinds of good stuff. And my niece is going into 3rd grade? She'll be 10 in December. I think that's 3rd grade. So I thought she might enjoy this. Oh, here's a Langston Hughes poem. I like Langston Hughes. He did some good stuff. Harlem Renaissance. Appropriate reading for this time. Yeah, I think this will be fun. Ooh, The Two Stonecutters. The artwork makes me think it might be Chinese. It's a distinctive Chinese style. Long ago in a faraway land. Sure, don't tell me. One thing I liked about these types of books is that they usually gave you a good cross-section of stories. So you might have something that is maybe possibly Chinese. Oh, Japanese. The Two Stonecutters is an old folk tale adapted from the Japanese and takes place in Japan. I was in the right continent. There are a lot of similarities between Chinese and Japanese artwork. But see, that's something I learned. I think it's really interesting that, they have a Japanese story, and they have Black poets, and they have just a wide variety of things in these books. So this is book I, Caravans, and this is book J, Journeys. I'm hoping I can maybe pick up more of them from the series. Like what? Anything that jumps out at me? Annie and the Old One. I wonder what that's about. There's one about a traveling dog. Oh, here's a photo essay about the National Theater of the Deaf. So I like that. That's cool. But I like that this is also divided up into, as they call it, magazines. So kind of, oh, here's a poem about a library. That's cool. I like the artwork. It has bookish people. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Here's one about how seeds travel, which it's an article about reading and science and about, seeds. And I just had the little storybook about Pumpkin Town about seeds traveling. So that's pretty cute. Interesting how that goes together. Oh, does it say where this one's from? The Buried Treasure, retold by Gemma Biter. Illustrated by Christina Rodanes. Well, where's it from? Caucasus Mountains in Russia. Oh, and the author was born in Russia. That's pretty cool. So see, now we have Russian stories. So that's pretty neat. Sorry about getting so absorbed into what I was talking about there. I hadn't really had as much chance to look at it closely. This one I've hauled before. It's called Undead by Kirsty McKay. This is what I'm laughing about as far as audiobooks. There's a second book. The second book is available on audio. The first book is not. Now, I find that very funny. Because why wouldn't you put book 1 on audio if you're going to do book 2 on audio? I want to finish this one. I am on page 139, starting chapter 16. These poor kids can't catch a break. It's about a group of kids in Scotland. They went on a ski trip, and on their way back, they stopped at this cafe, and there are a couple kids left on the bus that didn't go in, and all their classmates that went in the cafe turned into zombies. And this is how they're dealing with the fact that, you know, there's, what, 4 high school kids left behind. Well, one of them was a girl that actually went into the cafe, but she had gone into the bathroom, and when she came out, everybody was like dead on the tables, and she panicked and ran back to the bus. So she ended up not turning. And another one of the guys was hiding out in the bathroom at the gas station. And I guess he panicked when he saw stuff happening and took off to the gas station. And then 2 of them, Bobby and Smitty, were left on the bus because I guess they'd gotten into some trouble and they weren't allowed to go in. Probably the best thing is they didn't get to go in, or they'd be zombies too. But every chapter is a new wrinkle. It's fast paced. It's a fairly easy read. It's fun. I'm not too sure about the cover because the cheerleader isn't the one taking charge. And the cover kind of makes you think that the cheerleader is the one taking charge and that's going to be like a Buffy story. I guess in a way it's like the Scooby Gang, but it's definitely not exactly Buffy-ish. If it was going to be more Buffy-ish, then the cheerleader would be the lead, and she's not. So anyway, it's interesting. At this point, probably shouldn't say anything about what's going on, but I started cracking up because they saw a castle and there was a light on, and so in my head I started with, "There's a light over at the Frankenstein." Turn the page, and what's the first line on the page? "There's a light over at the Frankenstein place," because Smitty started singing it. And I'm like, yep, I'm totally connected with this book now, because I started in with the thing that was started the next page. Hadn't even turned the page yet, and I was already there. So anyway, yeah. So we're going to see what we can see about this castle. So I'm intrigued. Will there be zombies? Will there be more zombies? Will there be something other than zombies? Ooh. Anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with Undead. The book 2 is called Unfed, which of course I don't have a copy of, but I do know I can get the audio on Scribd, so I will probably be doing that soon. I'm a little over halfway. There's what, 360... 263 pages. So anyway, yeah. This week I also listened to The Elegance of the Hedgehog. Unfortunately, I wasn't feeling well when I was listening to it, and I fell asleep and missed like the huge chunk in the middle, and had to give the book back because it was due. I had to give the audiobook back, and it's going to take a while before I can get the audio back. Anyway, what I remember of the book was pretty good. I liked the writing style. The characters were kind of interesting. Ending was kind of sad. And that's all I can really say about it, because, like I said, I fell asleep in the middle of it. So I don't know everything that happened. But from what I do remember of it, I would recommend it. It was pretty interesting. So anyway, that's all I've got for now. As you can see, no, this side. This, over there. Back there. On the stairway, you can see I have a few books. Farther I lean, the more you see. Lots and lots of books. Not counting all the owl crates behind me. It's so awkward trying to look through the computer screen and show you where stuff is. But I do have several Owl Crate books that need to be read. I did look it up. I have a Unicorn Crate due sometime the end of the month, and then June's Owl Crate. Right now I'm busy putting things on hold, so I'm still looking for a job. I have lots of applications out. I'm hoping to hear something back from somebody. West Virginia is doing a virtual job fair thing for their corrections department. So I'm waiting on a phone call from them tomorrow. So yeah, there's lots going on. I don't know. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head to tell you all, so I'll let you go. And this is a fairly short one compared to what they've been lately. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, all that fun YouTube-y stuff. I would love to, get out of the 30 subscriber range and maybe hit 50 by the end of the year. That's not too crazy of a goal, right? Alright, talk to you next time. And see you in the next video.